Welcome everybody to the June 25th, 2023 edition of Speaking of Zane. You can see I got the flags pulled down there so you guys can actually see there's a universe out there. That's out the side of the house there, where my office is. And it was raining. We had a thunderstorm this afternoon. So I took the flags down and opened up the blinds so I could watch the rain fall. I was on a walk actually when the thunderstorm started, and I sensed it with my spidey senses, and I turned around just in time to make it back home before the torrential downpour. And then when I got back in the office here, open up the window so you can see there's actually a world out there behind us, a wood line there. But good to have everybody in here on the June 25th, 2023 edition of Speaking of Zane. It's the 235th week that we've had Speaking of Zane. We started way back. We're about to hit an anniversary. We started August the 5th of 2018 was the very first Speaking of Zane. You can go to YouTube and watch the very first, very poor edition of Speaking of Zane. Just kind of came to me one Sunday evening. Of course, we lost him on a Sunday. And Sunday has this, Sundays have this, I don't know what to call it, Lori. Sundays, there's a tone about Sundays around here that's different for us now. It's not that we're like depressed or anything on a Sunday, but we're hypersensitive to the Sunday. We found him on a Sunday. It was a Sunday. We had a roast in the crock pot. Roast was our Sunday thing. So Sunday, and then one Sunday night, what did I say, 2018. So over 2 years after he passed, I had this urge, this desire to talk about him. And I'd never really done any kind of Facebook or YouTube, but I did it that night and it felt good enough. We've done it now 234 other times, but that is how we all started. But let me see who's in let me look in the chat here and see who we have with us tonight. Facebook user, I don't know if that's who that is, the Facebook user. Like I mentioned, sometimes the Facebook users show up generic, depending on if you're joining on Speaking of Zane Facebook page or on the Guy McDonald Facebook page or on YouTube. They all show up. One of them shows up where you're just the Facebook user, and I don't know why that is. I need to figure that out. But whoever you are, good to have you in here. Lori's in there. Lori, how were the ribs? I cooked a rack of ribs on the grill. Oh my gosh, Cajun seasoning, pepper, garlic. It was a dry rub. Cooked it for about 2.5 hours, wrapped in aluminum foil. And I'm still picking my teeth. Oh my gosh. It was absolutely delicious. I haven't had a rack of ribs in quite some time, but I shared with Lori. All right, let's see who else we got here. Jimbo Miller. How you doing, Jim? Good to have you in there. Cindy Wilson, my cousin Cindy, who is the daughter of my Aunt Betty, who is the sister of my dad. Hey, Cindy. Let's see. Let's see. Aaron. Okay, that's Aaron. Aaron in Detroit. Well, what are we, Aaron? About 5-6 weeks until the running to honor 5K. Running to honor 5K. I cannot wait because I am in the best shape that I've been since I was in the Air Force. And I'm going to run. I'm running this year. In fact, I ran today. I had to run home today to beat the thunderstorm. So I ran and it felt so good. My legs felt good. My breathing felt good. I ran a good mile home. I was a mile out and ran back to beat the thunderstorms, and it felt really good. So, Ron, I think I'm going to do a combination of walk run this year for the Running to Honor 5K. I cannot wait for that. My Aunt Mary's in there. Hey, Aunt Mary, good to have you in there. Let's see. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Lori said it was spicy, a little bit spicy. Had a Cajun seasoning on there, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of black pepper. Not too bad. Hopefully she got through it okay. There's my dad, Mac Marine. Hey, Dad, good to have you in there. So Dad went out to visit my mom at Evergreen Cemetery. Man, I miss her. What a good mom she was. She's been gone now over a month and a half. And man, what an incredible mom. There's Ken. Hey, Ken, good to have you in there. I saw that you made a pilgrimage this week. I wonder where you're at now, but I know you were at Arlington, sort of the crown jewel of our national cemetery system. Let's see. Okay, let's see. All right. Well, good crowd in here tonight. Well, let's see what the heck is going on now. At the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum, I spent a few days up in St. Louis. I love St. Louis. I tell you what, it's where my company's headquartered. I've grown to really adore St. Louis. I'm a big Cardinals fan. They're a big baseball town, and I just love going to St. Louis. Had a good time there. I was up there for a couple of reasons. Work. I go there for work a lot, but I was asked to be on a panel. Actually, I was a panelist for a conference that was held at our global headquarters. And the conference was educators, high school educators, and college guidance counselors from all across the state of Missouri. And it's affiliated with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce. And they asked me if I would participate on a panel talking about pathways into technology. And so it was fantastic. Who'd have thought this guy would be an expert on education and pathways into tech? And but anyway, I had my colleague, a bunch of my colleagues there with me, and we shared with these educators, how they should be sort of steering and guiding their students into technology. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I had an opportunity to talk about the military and talk about, the value of getting technology experience in the military. I got a chance to talk about that. I got a chance to talk about a guy who's in a position now to actually lead an entire academy at a $17 billion annual revenue company that never even went to college. So I got to share with them that there are other pathways into tech. And of course, I don't downplay college. I mean, most of the people I hire have a college degree. Most of the people that are in my program have a college degree, but it's not an absolute. There are other paths. And I enjoyed telling that story. And I think they really got a kick out of that, and enjoyed. Oh, I ran into, speaking of college, after our panel, which lasted about an hour or so, there was St. Louis has a brand new professional soccer team called the St. Louis City Soccer Club, and our company is our founders are part owners, and we're a big sponsor of the team and the stadium and everything. And so they had some people in there coming in to talk about tech and how even a soccer team has technology jobs and whatnot. Anyway, so one of the people that they brought, hey, Matt, Aaron, one of the people they brought in there to talk about pathways into tech was a young lady. She's just 25 years old, and she is the assistant groundskeeper for this new stadium. And she was talking about, her job and her role to keep this field in playing condition, and all the tech that's involved with it, the substrate and that she can control all of the irrigation on her phone. And, it was just fascinating. But what was most fascinating is the young lady graduated from Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, commonly referred to as ABAC, in Tifton, Georgia, way down where my folks live near Fitzgerald. And she said, I bet nobody's ever heard where I went to college. And I said, you're wrong. I said, I know ABAC in Tifton. I said, my folks live in Fitzgerald. She said, you got to be kidding. So we got a nice little selfie together, but good to see that, and enjoyed that trip. I also took the opportunity of being there to actually preside over another flag retirement ceremony that we did. You guys may recall way back at the end of April, we did one where it's the first time we've ever done this at our company, but I convinced our facilities people, hey, listen, this flag out here looks terrible. It's tattered ends, it's faded. It needs to be replaced, first of all. But secondly, the veterans in our group, we want to be the ones to do it, and we wanted to make a big deal out of it. We wanted to make it a quasi-formal ceremony. We just didn't want to take the flag down and put a new one up. We wanted to actually honor Old Glory. We did that the first time, huge success. I had 10 others like me, and we all had jobs: lowering, raising, folding. I was barking the commands, and we had one young lady, a Navy vet. She was doing the music, and then we had over 100 people come out of work in our warehouse. This is in our warehouse operation. They came out of work at 1:30 in the afternoon to witness this. It was just fantastic. So we did it again at a second location in town that had a similar flag that was worn and faded. So that's what we did this week. And again, I had 10 others. I was barking the commands. Sarah was doing the music. We did To the Colors as the flag lowered, and we did the national anthem, obviously, as the new flag raised. And I had Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines represented, and we handed off the flag to one of our veterans who's also a scoutmaster, and he's taken those flags back to his scout troop that will formally retire them in the proper manner. So it was just fantastic, and the weather was beautiful, and well over 100 people showed up again. It's like, where do you get 100 people that will leave work for 20 minutes to come? And it's because they're still patriotic Americans in this country. Gosh darn it! And it was just fantastic. I love doing that, and it was awesome. And my friend Daryl, I don't know if Daryl's in here tonight. I didn't see him sign in, but Daryl was there again. Daryl lives in Florissant, and Daryl came over. Daryl took some pictures and video for me. Thank you for that, Daryl. And it was just a wonderful ceremony, and we'll do those anywhere that they ask us to. And it really was great. We had a little trouble this time, didn't we, Daryl, with when the old flag came down, there's a like a C clamp that has a screw thing on it. And the one guy, Paul, Army vet, was having trouble getting it unscrewed. And we had to solicit pliers. Somebody had what do you call it, Daryl? In their hip pocket, somebody had a multi-tool, and eventually was able to get it off. But it was crazy. But everything went fantastic, and so I was able to do two major things while I was in town, and then I got home on Friday evening, and everything went great through the airport and everything, and took an Uber home actually. It's very convenient. There's Katie Aaron. Hey, Katie. And yeah, Daryl's in there. I see Daryl now. Okay. Yep. Dad says Kayla got her associates at ABAC and then her nursing at Valdosta State. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, but that was fantastic, man. I already can't wait to do the next one. But at our global headquarters in Maryland Heights, the flag, I was there this week. The flag is in perfect shape, so no action needed there. But so we'll see. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I just enjoyed the heck out of it. Seeing these veterans, some of them older, some of them younger. One of them, in fact, is still in the Guard, and this fall will be activating to go to the border with his unit. And then some of them are older as me. I was the oldest, but there were some younger than me, Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines. But just to see them snap to attention, some of these guys, a decade, 2 decades or more, and everybody still had, I called everybody to attention. I issued the command, present arms. Everybody was just fantastic, what they were able to remember, and the pride, to see the pride in their face when they're doing something like this. Man, I'm tearing up thinking about it, but um, just absolutely fantastic. So proud to be part of that. But anyway, so that was awesome. Um, Katie's in there. Hey, Katie, Aaron. Let's see. So um, Carl and Peggy. Carl, are you in there tonight? Carl and Peggy have been on a road trip, and Carl said, "Hey, I'm in Mobile. I'm headed to Savannah." And Carl got to Savannah. Carl and Peggy got to Savannah, and I was trying to coordinate it so that Carl could get on board the B-17 called City of Savannah, the one that I've been a part of the restoration for about 12 years now, just the radio piece. And I made some calls and sent some messages and tried to get somebody that I knew that would be able to let Carl on the plane, because they don't let any average Joe on the plane. And I wasn't successful. Couldn't get a hold of anybody. Now it's been a dozen years, 10 years, 8 years, 7 years. I'd go there every couple times a year, but I'm not a regular anymore. Well, Carl got there. Carl said, "I got on the plane." I'm like, "How did you get on the plane?" I mentioned your name, and so he got on the plane and got a lot of cool pictures, and so he's now the third of my colleagues, Air Force colleagues, that have gotten on the plane. Lanny Witt was one. Tony Androsky was another, and now Carl Kihas. But I'm glad he was able to get on, and he sent some great pics, and made me want to get back down there and crank up the radio station. There's Amy Walton. Hey, Amy, good to have you in there. But yeah, so Carl made that trip, and Steve and Kathy are in Europe. I saw Steve and Kathy are celebrating their 40th anniversary. And Steve told me last week that they were going to England, but from England they're big cruisers. They're doing some cruise up into, I don't know if they're going to Scandinavia or something, but anyway, that's where Steve's at. Okay, well, let's see what else we got going on here. I am going back to St. Louis. Well, I am going back to St. Louis the first, let's see, that last week of July, first week of August. I'll be there August 1st, like the 1st through the 4th. Two of my cohorts in this academy are graduating. We're doing a big graduation on the 3rd, so I'll be there for that entire week. But before that, I'm going to London, actually. I'm going to London July 9th through 14th, something like that. That whole week, we've got a bunch of stuff planned, a lot of people to meet. I'm assuming I'm taking responsibility for a new program over there, so I got to get over there and find out what the heck. And so got a little bit of travel there. But then once I'm back from London, back from St. Louis, that next week, Lori and I are taking a 2 weeks. I've got 2 weeks where nobody's going to bother me for anything at work, and we're going to just drive. And we're going up to New Hampshire, Maine, somewhere in New Hampshire or Maine, where our grandkids are. So like August 7th through the 14th, something like that. We're just going to be nomads. We'll see. Lori's Lori's car's broke at the moment, but we got to figure that out first. Got a low oil pressure. I don't know if it's the sensor, or I got to get it in the shop anyway. Um, but one way or another, we're going to take a road trip up there in the middle of August. So I'm excited about that because I need to get away from work for a little bit. All right, weight loss update. No change since last week. I reported an 83-pound weight loss since the very beginning, and that's where I'm at. And that's even after going. Actually, I do better when I'm on the road because I fast longer. And when I got back from St. Louis this week, I was at the same weight, 83 pounds lost. So I do have a couple of new goals set for the weight loss. I think it would be cool to say I've lost 90 pounds, which means I need to lose 7 more pounds. So wouldn't it be cool to say, hey, I've lost 90 pounds? So if that's the deal, then I've got 7 more pounds to lose. But then if I get to that, I'm like, the next sort of measurement would be, let's see, that would put me at just a couple more pounds and I would be at 200 pounds even, 200 pounds even. That's kind of cool. Let's see. So hat of the week. So hat of the week usually has something to do with what's going on around here or what's going on in general. You see, it's a College World Series hat for all of my Omaha people. Yeah, this was, Ken's got it. So I've been following it. I've been following the College World Series since the early 80s when I first got stationed in Omaha. And for anybody that's been stationed at Offutt or spent time in Omaha, you've been to the College World Series, so it's a big deal. But anyway, this today was the second game of the final. LSU and Florida. LSU got absolutely spanked today, 24-4. 24-4, game 2. So tomorrow they play again. But this hat was from 2018. So let me show you who was. This was 2018. I was up there for work. Just happened to be the College World Series going on. It's funny how that happens. Florida, Arkansas, Washington, North Carolina, Texas Tech, Texas, Mississippi State, and gosh, who was that? Who was that? That was 2018. I forget who that was. Oregon State. So it was Arkansas, Florida, Mississippi State. Yeah, it was Oregon State. The Beavers. Yeah, that's a beaver. You can't tell right there. You see the beaver teeth? Yeah. So anyway, so that was my hat from 2018. And that is why this is the hat of the week. College World Series. If you've spent any time in Omaha, you know about the College World Series. Now, they started out at Rosenblatt Stadium. Everybody knows Rosenblatt Stadium. And don't play there anymore. It's not a stadium anymore. There's a little tribute there by the zoo. But they've been playing in Ameritrade Park in downtown Omaha. Very nice venue, very nice park. They've done a great job. It's just the other side of what do they call it, Amy? The Old Market? Is that right? Anyway, beautiful place. Well, it's not called Ameritrade anymore. It's called, gosh, who sponsors it now? Give me somebody in Omaha. Tell me who sponsors. It's not Ameritrade anymore. Schwab Field. Yeah. Yep. But I imagine it will change hands time and time again. Sponsorship anyway. But if you have never been to the College World Series, you should go. Okay. Well, let's see what else is going on around here. That's it. This week in military history, we do have some this week in military history items. I should have reported this one last week, and I forgot about it, but I'm adding it this week. On June the 18th of 1812, the War of 1812 began as the United States Congress approved and President James Madison signed a declaration of war against Britain. So here we are fighting the British again in the War of 1812. And so this past week, so listen, so I'm a little bit more in tune with what's going on in the military in Europe because I have a colleague over there at work in the Netherlands he's helping me out with our veterans. Gotta get my hat. Or, I don't know if it's my hat that's on crooked or my head that's crooked, one or the other. But um, I got this guy Dave DeVries, who is a Royal Dutch Army veteran and colleague at work of mine. And anyway, he's tuned me into some of these things as we're trying to expand our veterans group at work beyond just United States veterans. Well, turns out that yesterday was Veterans Day in the Netherlands. How about that? Veterans Day in the Netherlands. I'm actually going to be in the Netherlands. He's invited me while I'm on my trip to the UK to come over for a day to the Netherlands, to our integration center there. So I'm going to get a chance to meet him and some others on a day trip. I'm told that if I fly from the city airport in London to the Netherlands, our center there is right by the airport, and I can drive back, or I can drive back. Geez, fly back the same day. So I've got the team in the UK working on that for me. So Veterans Day in the Netherlands, and then also on the same day, yesterday, June 24th, Armed Forces Day in the United Kingdom. Started out being called Veterans Day in the United Kingdom, like 2006. And then 2009, they changed it to Armed Forces Day, and they acknowledge and recognize those serving in the armed forces and veterans of the armed forces. So it's interesting, a little late to the game there. Just in the 2000s, but my friend Dave over there told me that he envies how in our country how we honor and revere our veterans, and but now they're beginning to do the same thing over there. So kind of cool. Now, on a more somber note, this week in military history, some of you know this is coming, but on June the 25th of 1996, many of us lost a colleague in the Khobar Towers bombing in Saudi Arabia. Master Sergeant Mike Heiser, who many of us served with, flew with at Mildenhall and Lodges. And that's why I'm wearing my Mildenhall Lodges shirt today in honor of Mike. But Mike Heiser was one of the, there was 19 total, Mike plus 18 more that were killed, airmen that were killed that day in the Khobar Tower bombings in Saudi Arabia. Now it was a few years before I even knew it. Now this is before social media, where news travels fast now. It was a few years probably before I knew about Mike's demise there in the Khobar Towers. But every year when it comes around, June 25th, we acknowledge it and celebrate his life and those that passed that day. He was stationed at Patrick Air Force Base during this period of time. Was flying special air missions, some a C-130 platform at the time. Now, when we all knew him and flew with him, we were flying on the EC-135H out of Mildenhall. But so this is the anniversary of his passing and the other 18 at Khobar Towers. I've had the opportunity to visit his grave, I think 3 times now at Arlington. There, and I found out today that his brother and his father are also buried at Arlington. His father passed, I think, in 2008. But there's I think I'll post this on the Facebook page, but I found an account or kind of an article that I don't know, Amy or Jim, if you guys have ever seen this, but I think it's his cousin. Let's see if I can find it here. It's his cousin. his cousin wrote an article about the article is called Three Generations of Heisers Buried at Arlington. And this guy's name is Jeff Heiser. And he wrote this article. There are a few inaccuracies here, but I'm just assuming he didn't know. The details aren't exact, like the type of plane and things like that Mike flew on. But the article's fascinating. It talks about his father and his uncle. I think it is. I think I said brother, but I meant uncle. I think his father and cousin. Yeah. Anyway, I'll put a link there. I had never read it till today. I stumbled onto it. Yeah, I think you're right, Amy. I'm going to put this article in the chat there, and I'll also put it on the Speaking of Zane Facebook group. But it's his cousin. Yeah, it's his cousin, Jeff, who wrote about how Mike's dad, and then a cousin. Yeah, I have to read it again, but you'll understand when you see it there. But just it's something I had never known about that. But okay, well, that is it for this week in military history. And let me see if I've got our Veteran Cemetery Challenge accurate this week. Daryl to Jefferson Barracks, Dad to Evergreen. Let's see. And I think that was all I show for the week. So 2 visits take us to 845 visits. Okay, Ken. Well, I'll make that 846. You made 2 visits there. And I'll add your thank you as well. I got some other thank yous here in just a second. So Ken had a Marine. Okay. And let me update the thank yous. Okay, let me tell you what I think I have. Okay, so I think that's the 2 visits, cemetery visit. No, 3 cemetery visits, which make 847 for us since we started. And then for the thank yous, let me tell you what I think. Lori had a retired Marine. Now, Lori, let me tell you, Lori is not bashful. And when she sees a veteran or a law enforcement officer, she is the first one to acknowledge them. And she was at an appointment, doctor's appointment or something, and she met a retired Marine, did 2 tours of duty in Vietnam, he told her, and was a Purple Heart recipient. How about that? Okay, got another thank you there. So I'm going to make that 13 thank yous. Thank you for that. So that takes us to just adjusting on the fly here as you guys update in the chat there. But so Ken had the Marine, Lori had a retired Marine. I had 10, so I mentioned I had a detail. I had flag folders. I have a flag lower. I had a flag raiser. I had 2 flag holders. I had a person playing To the Colors and the national anthem. So I got a chance to thank all of them. And we had these really nice challenge coins made up at work. I think I've shown you these before. But has our WWT logo, and so I have a bunch of these, and I was able to present a coin to the ones who helped. There were members of the flag detail, so that was a lot of fun. So there was 10 of them I thanked this time. So if I add all the thank yous up that you guys told me about, there's 13 thank yous. So we're at 2,170. So since Lori made this update updated our count to 2,000. We've already done 170 more. So boy, it's going quick. So 2,170 times a veteran or service member or a law enforcement officer has heard from one of us. Hey, what'd you do in the service? Or hey, thank you. Or hey, I appreciate you. So that's pretty good in my book. All right, well, let's see. Move along here to organizations. What do we got going? I mentioned the Running to Honor 5K. So Lori says she's going to come along with us. And Lori's making headway on her health. And she's going to be with us at least. She says she's going to walk a mile with us. Well, we'll do that. And I think my dad is scheduled, my sister and my nephew, who's Army Tennessee National Guardsman, I think, unless he has. So he's being deployed. Can't say anything more about it. I'm not sure when that is, but so he may not be able to make it. But there'll be some of us there, probably in the normal place that we do, Woodstock, because it's exactly 5K out and back. It's relatively flat, shaded. And we like running there, or running. We like walking there. I'm going to run some this year, but we like walking there. So stay tuned for that. And let's see, My Warriors Place. I'm still working on some things with My Warriors Place. I told you there's a big ceremony that Kelly has planned for August 26th, and it's to honor the 13 who were killed in that withdrawal from Afghanistan. And now she's connected with Greg Page, whose son is buried in Omaha National. And they're working on this. Well, she's worried that some of the families might not be able to afford to get there. So I'm working with my job and some of my business partners to try to raise some money. So stay tuned on that. I'm working with my colleagues at Cisco, NetApp, F5, others to see if they'll do some matching. Anyway, so stay tuned for that as we get closer to that. But August 26th, Lori and I will be there. It's at their new location in Punta Gorda, August 26th. So we'll see. Kelly and Greg are working on figuring out what's needed, but I can't wait for that. I got to mobilize these other entities to try to see if we can help with that. So stay tuned on that. Okay. I think that is it for now. But should have a normal week next week. I'm home 2 full weeks now. Got to get Lori's car fixed. Oh, God. It's so stressful when you're down a car. But you know what? So here's how things work. Our grandson, Everett, who is Hannah's son, you can see him sometimes around here, little 6-year-old, awesome kid, going in the first grade. His dad, Enoch, is in the car business, and they have 2 little 1-year-old, 1.5-year-old twins that we consider our grandkids, Ezra and Maya. Anyway, they're getting ready to go to Ghana, where he's from. So Enoch and his wife Hannah, not our Hannah, but another Hannah, mother of Maya and Ezra, they're going to Ghana for I don't know, a few weeks, and Everett's going with them, and he's excited. And anyway, he's in the car business, so Lori's going to go out there, I think, Tuesday, and she's going to be looking after the twins while Hannah works, and so they can get things all in place before they take their trip. Anyway, he's in the car business. He has all these cars, so he's giving Lori a car to drive until we can get hers fixed. The problem with getting hers fixed is getting it in somewhere that they can diagnose it. I think, what did you say, Lori? The dealerships were like 2 weeks before you can even get it in there. And then who knows, how long from there. But anyway, I'm trying some other avenues outside of the dealership. But anyway, in the meantime, Enoch has said, "Hey, Lori, he calls her Grammy, take, take, one of these, take one of my cars." So anyway, so we're in good shape. Lori will be able to get around and everything. So it's kind of funny the way things work out like that, but appreciate him for doing that. Okay. But yeah, so next week we'll let you know how things are coming along with that and everything on Sunday night. Speaking of Zane, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody. Remember what Gary Sinise said? It's been a while since I talked about some of these quotes at the end of Speaking of Zane, but Gary Sinise, who I love, said, "Service is a great healer. If you have a broken heart, help someone else. Your whole life will be different. Help someone else. If you have a broken heart, help someone else." And of course, Ronald Reagan very famously said, "We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone." How about that? That's wisdom beyond. Wisdom beyond. We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. So anyway, help someone this week and you'll be blessed. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody next Sunday night for, what did I say? The 236th edition of Speaking of Zane. Looking forward to it already. Take care, everybody. Have a great week and make it count.